This is called navigating in the dark. Recently, I was asked how I avoid going down into a dark place. Man, I live in a dark place. Not a lot of windows and horrible lighting. I've learned how to accept it and make the best of it. Sickness and death have always surrounded the people close to me. That's been my life, forever. It's not bad. I'm built for it. In a crisis, I'm the one you want on your side. I don't freak out. I stay calm and make decisions with a clear head. Bad decisions usually come when you're sad, hungry, or angry. I've learned to wait those out. So now I let things pass. That's how I stay on track. I'm good with looking at both sides and meeting in the middle. I'm okay with being a straight line. Here's the thing. We're not guaranteed tomorrow, so why obsess over it? In the past, F it. It's done. When shit gets overwhelming, I take it day by day. If it's too much, hour by hour. But when it really gets intense, like life or death, I go minute by minute, sometimes second by second. The only way through is to stay present. When I focus on the future, I get anxious and create all these bullshit expectations. When I look back, that's when depression creeps in. And I hate getting stuck in my head with questions like, am I good enough? Why do I always end up here? What if I'd done things differently? What if I'd done things differently? This reading thing. Before this book, I think the last book that I read was Super Fudge. So thank you for being patient. What if I'd done things different? What if I'd baby better? What if I'd done things different? Those thoughts are traps. Here's something I figured out, Midwesterners. Every winter, I make shitty decisions that I pay for in the summer. So I stopped making any big decisions between November and March. They always suck. June rolls around, and I'm like, why am I in this mess? Oh yeah, because in February, when it was 10 degrees and dark at 4 p.m., I thought I knew what I wanted. Now, I don't plan anything until April. If I go too long without sun, my brain's not right. I've learned to work with it instead of against it. That's a big shift for me. That and cold plunging. If you don't have to wait to do a cold plunge, just take a cold shower. It's one of the fastest ways to get out of a funk and reset emotionally. Man, I have tried everything under the sun. Is self-medication, yoga, you put a VR mask on and lights are flashing in your head and you're sucking on friggin' oxygen and you got people, take this. I'm taking stuff that you'd give a dog to relax and everything else like that. I'm just like, I'm freaking out. Anytime I take a cold shower, if I'm going down that rabbit hole, like I do once a week, because it's just how I'm wired, and I just put the shower on cold, and I go in there and go, do a turn and put my clothes back on, I have no idea what the hell I was even thinking about before I got in there. Just saying. Man, I want to drink. Oh, why am is my wife mad at me? Am I a shitty brother? The water starts, and I'm like a dog that knows it's about to get fed. And I just jump in that son of a gun, turn around, and I've even evolved to actually buying a cold plunge. I have had horse troughs in my backyard where I go out and smash it with a crowbar, and I just sit in it. I know you're shaking your head no, but I'm telling you, it's the cheapest way to get out of a funk, to reset completely emotionally. And if your lower back hurts or you're having like a really sore foot, you ain't going to feel that son of a bitch for days. That's all I'm saying. Back to business. I've always had two sides, a creative side and a destructive side. It's taken me half a century to learn how to balance the two, but I finally figured out how to work with my brain so I don't self-destruct. My depressive side would crop up whenever I would hear bad news or have a super crappy day and have a difficult conversation with somebody. Or maybe I was just having one of those days where I didn't see the sun for a couple weeks. The crazy thing is, it's never gone away. It's been there every effing day. At some point, it'll rear up its ugly little head and I'll think, here we go again. And then I realize that it's just my brain doing what my brain does. When I get to that point and don't know what to do, I go for a run. I don't give myself a time that I've got to be back. Sometimes it takes me 10 minutes. Sometimes I've got to run 40 miles. Then I come back and I'm better. I'm good again. Now I'm not as impulsive, but I've had to train myself to produce endorphins. I have to produce so much for it to battle out that depression. For me, running works like a champ, and I recommend it to anybody. I feel the most alive when I'm challenged. That's why I try to run 100 miles or set these crazy goals like becoming an author or putting out new music as a 50-year-old. I love seeing what I'm capable of. There's always been a side of me with the ability to destroy everything, but I killed that guy. I'm a huge fan of the guy I am now. He's way cooler and way less of a douchebag.